5933 Hotel. Contact Tower 119.1.
Switching to Tower. Fort Wayne Tower, November, 5933 Hotel, runway 5, ready to depart.
5933 Hotel, Fort Wayne Tower, wind 070 at 7, cleared for takeoff. Have a safe flight.
We are off on our journey.
I am very concerned about America. Are you? I hope you are. During this two-part series, we will look at biblical history regarding a few nations and then look at America from three perspectives: America past, America present, and America future. In this video, we will be looking at some biblical history of nations and America past. You can call me an alarmist or Mr. Negative, but I am a realist and am reporting what I see happening in the good old USA. Have we had bad times in the past? Definitely. Will things get worse in the future? Definitely. I want everyone to be prepared for the rapture and then Christ's second coming. If you believe in God of the Bible and what His Word says, then we all need to be concerned. So let's get started. Let's go to the Bible and see what God's role is with the establishment of nations. In His sovereign plan, God has created all nations. God blesses each nation with a span of time so it might prosper and do well. But this blessing ends when a nation becomes degenerate, rebellious, and unfit for self-rule. God also guides the course of nations and their history. Job 12, verse 23. He makes nations great and destroys them. He enlarges nations and disperses them. Acts 17, verse 26. From one man He made all the nations, that they should inhabit the whole earth. And He marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their land. Deuteronomy 32, verse 8. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when He divided all mankind, He set up boundaries for the peoples according to the number of the sons of Israel. Psalm 75, verse 7. It is God who judges nations. He brings one down, He exalts another. As an example, let's look at the kingdom of Judah, which was founded in 930 BC and dissolved in 586 BC. David was the first king of Judah, and after repeated cycles of idolatry and reformation, the Babylonians destroyed Judah. Judah followed step by step the sin listed in Romans 1. Let's read Romans 1, 18 to 32. The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of people, who suppress the truth by their wickedness. Since what may be known about God is plain to them, for since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power, His divine nature has been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. For although they knew God, they neither glorified Him as God, nor gave thanks to Him. But their thinking became futile, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like a mortal human being, and birds, and animals, and reptiles. Therefore, God gave them over in the sinful desires of their hearts to sexual impurity for the degrading of their bodies with one another. They exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and worshiped and served created things rather than the Creator, who is praised forever. Amen. Because of this, God gave them over to shameful lust. Even their women exchanged natural sexual relations for unnatural ones. In the same way, the men also abandoned natural relations with women and were inflamed with lust for one another. Men committed shameful acts with other men and received in themselves the due penalty for their error. Furthermore, just as they did not think it worthwhile to retain the knowledge of God, so God gave them over to a depraved mind, so that they do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice. They are gossips, slanderers, God-haters, insolent, arrogant, and boastful. They invent ways of doing evil. They disobey their parents. They have no understanding, no fidelity, no love, no mercy. Although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things deserve death, they not only continue to do those very things, but also approve of those who practice them. What happened to Judah? In a nutshell, rejection of the Creator, proliferation of idols, lust-driven hearts, unnatural sex, and finally, total moral collapse. Now let's look at the four major empires listed in Daniel, chapters 2 and 7. Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. These nations or empires were judged and destroyed for transgressing these biblically defined moral and spiritual boundaries: sexual perversion, idol worship, wickedness and moral decadence, and anti-Semitism. These nations or empires progressed as such: bondage to spiritual faith to great courage, courage to liberty, liberty to abundance, abundance to complacency, complacency to apathy, apathy to dependence, and guess what? Dependence back into bondage. Now let's look at America past. I believe America was founded on Judeo-Christian principles. We were born a Christian nation. America was founded on three documents: the Declaration of Independence, the Paris Peace Treaty of 1783, and the Constitution. These give proof that we were a Christian nation at birth. The founders believed and did the following: believed that humans are created in the image of God, designed institutions and laws meant to protect and promote human dignity. They were convinced that humans are sinful and therefore attempted to avoid the concentration of power by framing a national government with carefully created powers. They were committed to liberty. They clearly thought that moral considerations should be used in putting legislation together. Did you know that 52 out of the 55 signers of the Constitution, who also framed the Constitution, were evangelical believers? The God of the Bible is whom the United States is based on. The unalienable right of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness come from the Judeo-Christian God and no one else. America was the first country in all of history that was deliberately formed to protect and promote religious freedom. Our founders rightly noted that people don't give people freedom, God does. Call it a representative democracy or a constitutional republic, our country was designed with liberty in mind. For all of this to work positively over time, our legislative leaders and citizens must be spiritually mature. Simply amazing is the fact that we will soon be 250 years old. Did you know that the average lifespan of the world's greatest civilizations is only 200 years? Next month, we will turn our attention to America present and America future.